Guys, this video is going to be for business owners, entrepreneurs, online coaches, or if you're a leader, guy or girl, and you have influence over people, this video is for you. We're going to be talking about four characteristics that you need to have to become an effective, powerful, purpose-driven, faith-based leader people want to follow, not just listen or obey. And, I've been blessed throughout my life to being exposed to amazing leaders that suck, and I've been exposed to a lot of opportunities of leadership throughout my life when it comes to academic stuff, business stuff, religious stuff. And it's been awesome because I've been able to do and learn a lot of what to do and what not to do. One of the things that I've learned, and since we work a lot with entrepreneurs, business owners, only coaches, and stuff, and we're going to start with this one, is number one, a lot of leaders, they blame the culture of the performance of the team on the team. And you got to understand that your team, your business, or whatever is the reflection of the leaders, the reflection of you. You set the standard in everything. If you don't like the standard of your team or your business or family, or sports or whatever you do that has influence over people, it's on you. Part of your obligation, responsibility as a leader is setting the standard. And I've talked about this a lot of times in my life that the best way of leadership is leading by example. If you're a dad, if you're a mother, you're going to realize that your kids always look up to you and they're going to do whatever you do, not what you tell them to. I've realized that through my one of just normal day to days through my little brother, which is like my kid pretty much. And whenever I tell him to do something, he always tells me, not always, but usually tells me, Ben, why are you not doing it? Or like calls me out on something. And then I gotta like catch myself and say, well, I need to do it first. I need to show him. My example is gonna be more important than what I can tell him. And I've been able to raise my own standards so I can be a better example for him. And not just in my family, but for the people that we work with, our clients, people on social media, platform content. Because right now, guys, in social media and in the world information that we live in, everybody's a good talker. Everybody's gonna talk and they're all nice and tell you what you want to hear or whatever. But not a lot of people can actually preach and lead by example. And if you're a leader, you gotta do that. Guys, if you're fat, guess what? Your people and your team will not respect you. If you lack faith and they don't feel energy or passion or conviction when you speak, they will not listen or apply the information you're telling them. If you're not disciplined, as a byproduct, your team is going to follow that. They're not going to respect you. They're not going to listen, and they most likely will not be disciplined or culture in your business or team or whatever. They're not going to have it because you don't have it. I truly believe that a lot of problems in society, in business, in teams, in families come down to the leader not performing or setting the standard or the example. So I want to personally invite you today to raise your standards. You might not achieve perfection, but you can achieve excellence. Achieve excellence in your finances, in your body, in your nutrition, what time you wake up, in your relationships, in your relationship with God, in how you speak, how you communicate, how you look, everything. That stuff matters. You have four areas in your life: finances, spiritual, mental, physical. And I would add a fifth one, which is relationship. Set the standard on those things. Be the example. Your best method of preaching and leading is going to be by your own fruits and results. For me, and I promise you guys this, I'm not going to invite you to do something me personally I'm not doing. All these stuff that I'm telling you guys is because I try to apply it and live it every single freaking day. I would feel like a hypocrite myself if I would tell you, yeah, you gotta serve, you gotta have accountability, you gotta do if I'm not doing it in my life. And a lot of leaders do that all the time. That's why their words carry no conviction, and people feel when you're just talking about your BS, because you can know. People can discern that nowadays. So the first thing as you as a leader, you gotta set the standard. You gotta be the example. You gotta lead by example. Raise your personal standards of excellence in all our areas and aspects in your life. Second thing, another thing that I learned is that it's very common for people to be like, I want to become an entrepreneur. I want to be this. I want to be a boss. I want to be a leader. I want to be a CEO. Guys, the main trait of a leader is service. And if you follow my channel, you know that I talk about faith a lot. And I try to apply these principles of leadership and business and life to the scriptures and faith, because I do believe we can find a lot of truth and principles that are just so good. And for me, Christ is the best leader that has ever existed on the face of the planet. And if I can put into one word his whole life and everything that he did was service. He served people. If you want to become a leader, if you want to be an effective, powerful, influential leader, it's about serving. Being a leader is being in a position of service. It's not selfish. It's not for me. It's not that I get the self gratification. Yeah, you get paid for it as a leader for sure. But all the accomplishments and everything, you should give it to your team, and you are a resource for them. You're a resource for people. When I think about Christ, when talk about somebody that created impact, mission, purpose, had so much vision, influence, changed the world, and after 2,000 plus years, we still live by a lot of stuff that he preached and did and lived. He did service, a lot of it, and he served people. His mission was, how can I be a tool and bless the lives of the people that follow me? How can I help them develop themselves? And that's another point that I didn't even have planned, but I'm going to be talking about right now, is that you have to become a master in developing people. Developing people. And, a lot of leaders, they pass their development to other people, that other coaches that come into your business and they tell your people what to do or whatever. And I always found that out to be such bullcrap, because the leader, the entrepreneur, the business owner, whatever, he or she should be a master class. You should do master classes on developing people. You need to get good at developing people. And you cannot delegate that onto no one else and to nobody else, because you can only get so far as with yourself. And if you want to grow your results, your team, or whatever the results you want to have in life, you need to go with people, and you got to become a master in this craft, which is learning how to develop people. And a lot of people avoid this, developing other people, because they cannot develop themselves, because they're not doing that in their own individual life, because their standards are pretty low. So one way to determine if you have a good leader, if you're a good leader, is if you delegate these tasks. A lot of leaders do that. They delegate that personal self-development of their people around them to somebody else. And that tells me that in their own personal life, they're not developed, they don't have a high standard, therefore they don't do that for somebody else. I see it all the time. It's very common. And I'm not saying that you cannot ask for help or whatever, but the leader has to be a master developer of people. You need to get good at serving and developing people. And in order to do that, you got to do that for yourself first. Third thing that we're going to be talking about of what it creates a powerful, influential leader that people want to follow, not just listen or obey, is full accountability. And if there's something in the team that works, you give the credit to the team. If it fails, you take full accountability and responsibility. And this is something that is very important, because you got to take 100,000% ownership in everything. And dude, sometimes it's hard. It is very hard. But if the people around you can recognize that you take accountability, yeah, that you say sorry when you mess up, and that you're human and you're always learning and growing, they'll respect you even more. When people that I work with, they make mistakes, I take accountability. I just blame it on me, because I didn't teach them the information of the results or the way I wanted them to do it. So at the end of the day, I just take blame me. If something went well, I'm like, hey, you guys did it. That's sick. But if something went wrong, I try to blame it on me and realize, how can I take responsibility? Because maybe I didn't teach them certain principles or train them in sales or something, or help them and guide them and work shoulder to shoulder with them, for them to be fully developed and do the task that it's required. So you got to take full accountability as a leader, because if the performance of a team is not working, who's responsible? The leader. If the family is not working, something's wrong, who's responsible? The leader, which is the father. It's the guy. So, and now if you're a single mom, you're the leader, so you got to like figure that out. But either it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. If you're a leader, it's your responsibility, and you got to take full accountability for the team, for the results, for the performance, and fix it, because people will follow your standards and your example. Now, the last thing that I want to be talking about, not the last thing, but another important thing that I want to talk about with you guys that I think a lot of people just don't have, and this is something that, is scripture. It says, forgot the scripture, I think it's Proverbs 18, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm just going to phrase it on my own, like Ben's way. But he talks about that if you have no vision, you will perish. And I do believe a lot of leaders right now, let me just get this thing out of the way. I do believe a lot of leaders, they don't have vision, to be honest. They have no idea where they're going, or they're way too focused on just, yeah, let's just make some money and like sick. But like, if you think about it, what's the long term play? What's the long term vision? What are you trying to accomplish? There's a study that came out that right now a lot of people that looking for jobs and stuff, yeah, they'll work for money, but they will die for purpose. They will die for meaning and recognition, and a sense of importance, and that they're working for something that's bigger than themselves. And if you're a leader and you have no vision of what's the mission, what are we trying to accomplish, which is bigger than just selling a product or whatever, it's a mission and message that people are willing to die for and do the extra hours, not just working the minimum. That's your fault. And that's where in the last video I talk about, yeah, you do have a passion, something that you're doing, your financial vehicle, which most of the time is your business, but you do have a message. Your message, and maybe there's a personal attachment with emotion that you can have and create part of the culture of the business, so it can mean something to them. Well, what are we trying to solve? Who are we helping? Who are we serving? Or you're just another business out there that is just transactional. Remember, the best businesses are businesses that influence people, that change and shift culture, that solve people's problems for the better. And if your team cannot see that, like they'll just do the minimum. Check in and check out. They're not gonna go the extra mile. They're not gonna care. They're not gonna take the initiative, and you're gonna cap their progress and development because they don't actually care about the mission or the company or whatever you're doing or your culture, because they're just there for money. I've had people that they've worked for free, they've made sacrifice, they moved from different states, they've done all these different things just to be around because they feel the energy. And it's wild what purpose, meaning, and a clear mission and vision can do to someone when they do feel they're working more than just something transactional. And if you as a leader don't have the vision of what you guys are trying to accomplish, your team will obviously not going to have it. And this is the other thing, is with vision comes conviction. Once you're I've said, I forgot who said this, but he said they don't have to believe you, but they have to believe that you believe. It's completely different. I don't want people to believe me, but I want people to believe that I believe. Does that make sense? That's conviction. That you're so convicted in certainty, certain in the mission, in the purpose of the mission, and where you guys are going, that people want to follow you. And I do believe a lot of leaders don't have that. What they speak is just words. They carry no energy, no passion, no meaning, no influence. A lot of leaders have no influence. And this is what I've told you guys, that the most impactful leaders, probably people that you look up to, they're evangelists. They preach a mission, a message, and it's something more than just something transactional. And that's why we look up to them. That's, at least for me, the people I look up to, they're like that. They have something that they're doing so big and bigger than themselves, that I want to follow them and become better, and they're influential. Influential people have vision and have conviction, and therefore have a mission and message they're preaching, and are able to influence people into that mission or vision that they have. So these are the four things that a powerful, effective leader has, that people want to follow, not just listen. Again, as a leader, you have the responsibility and privilege and blessing to impact people's lives. And I think a lot of people, that they have a lot left in the tank, and they have a lot of things that they could learn and do better. And I think it also comes down to this. Let me just get this thing out of the way. It comes down to, if you're a leader, it's not about you, it's not about no one but people. And I want to remind you this, that there's people out there, without maybe telling you or talking to you, that they look up to you. They're looking at your example. They're looking at what you watch, what you say, how you think, what you think, how you dress. how you handle stress, how you build your relationships with your spouse, your family, your faith. It's about people. And I do believe we have a duty, if you're an entrepreneur, online coach, business owner, CEO, or whatever, if you have influence, to make it about them and to be effective. And I want to invite you to care. You know, that for me, I can draw amounts of energy just from this, just from people. Because I understand that it's not about Ben either. Like I think about the people that I can impact, that I've impacted throughout my life, that I have influenced my platform. And, you know, I want to become better. I want to raise my standards. I want to perform better. I want to be more accountable. I want to be more disciplined. Do I get the benefit of those things? 100,000%. But most importantly, it's for them, because I do feel like a sense of duty. Leaders change the world. Effective leaders change the world. Influential leaders change the world. Influential and people, leaders with conviction change other people. And we live in a world that we lack powerful and strong leaders. We have a lot of bosses. We have a lot of managers. We have a lot of guys that make more money than somebody else. And we need people that care. We need people that go out of their way to serve. We need people that make it about people. We need people and leaders that have vision, that have conviction, and that can take an idea, translate into something physical, and can guide other people, develop them so they can go and accomplish a task and a goal. The world is pretty messed up because of a lack of powerful and influential leaders. And I do believe that. So if you're a leader or wanting and inspired to become a leader, these are 4 things that you guys can apply right now to become more effective, to become more influential, to become a purpose driven leader, a faith driven leader, somebody that God is here, you're here, and then people, and you can help and influence a lot of people, and especially in a world that's so needed, guys. We need powerful leaders. That's something that I've seen, that a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, whatever, they don't have a business problem. They have a leader problem. They have a leadership problem. And a lot of stuff can be fixed with this. With one person, you have no idea the ripple effect that one dude, one girl can have in an entire group of people if they just get their crap together. One person. I've seen it in my life, and I've seen it in thousands and thousands of other people. So anyway, hopefully this was beneficial for you guys. Drop down in the comments what you guys think. If you guys have any questions, share this video with a friend or with somebody that you guys can feel they can benefit from this. Subscribe and like. And if you guys have any questions, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye bye. Have urgency. Bye bye.